How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy with It. I'm Will, and today we're opening up the newest pack from Marvel Champions, and that is Nebula. The Nebula is the last in the Guardians wave, of course, and then we do have the Mad Titan's Shadow, which is currently delayed due to, world situation. So, of course, we're going to get that as well. We'll get that opened up. And then they've also got a couple more packs coming out of Valkyrie, War Machine. They've announced the Hood, and then they just teased the Sinister Six expansion. I forget what the actual title is, but of course we'll have to get that for you guys as well and play that. We will be playing this in our Guardians Most Wanted campaign. If you go back, you can see that we did finish the Red Skull campaign already. And we do have a couple other, I think, villains that we still haven't played. We'll play each one of those with a different one of the starter decks that we haven't tried. This will be, basically we're going to play kind of thematic like we did. We're going to have only one hero kind of stay throughout, which is more or less Star-Lord, until Nebula. Once we beat Nebula, it's like, okay, Gamora and Nebula are going to team up to take on Thanos. So we changed it a little bit. When we did the Red Skull, we kept Captain America throughout. But either way, if you guys want to see that gameplay or see how this deck plays, make sure you hit the subscribe and bell notification to know when we go live, because of course we do all of our gameplays live. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this latest pack. So of course, for those that are not aware, this is what's called a living card game, which means that you can take the packs that you get and play them out of the pack. Think a la starter deck with like Pokemon, and you just play them against the villains in either the core set or a combination of the core set plus the scenario packs and so forth. Now, one thing that does make this interesting is now Nebula is one of the first that is a villain, a nemesis, and a ally. Well, she's an ally and a nemesis and a villain, and now she's also a hero. So it gets very interesting because when it is a unique character, you can't play them more than once. And they've said in some of the developer things that that is the intent. You cannot play Nebula against Nebula. There are some cards in this deck that I have read on Board Game Geek that unfortunately do not work well thematically if you're playing with Gamora at the same time, which is what we're going to do, because it says Gamora hits you for whatever. So if you're playing Gamora and Gamora draws that card, Gamora is hitting herself. So it's like, stop hitting yourself. So it's just kind of weird. I guess if you don't want to play it that way, you could always say, okay, just take the Surge, because that's the alternate on the card. We'll get to that card. It is in here. So, of course, the first thing is her alter ego side, which is Nebula the Outlaw. 3 recovery, and then you can see right there she has that unique symbol. Cybernetic upgrades response. After you playing a technique upgrade, draw 3 cards, limit once per round. So basically gives you some draw support, hand size of 6, and hit points of 9. So then we switch over to her hero form. So Nebula Hero, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense, 2 down the line. So nice even hero. Her abilities, of course, are going to help you increase that. Combat protocols, force response. After your turn begins, resolve the special ability with each technique upgrade you control to discard each technique upgrade resolved this way. So what that means is basically that if you are basically at the beginning of your turn, you're going to be losing all your techniques because you have to actually resolve them. So we'll see what these techniques are. Maybe that'll help us. Maybe that'll hurt us. Only time will tell, right? So Gamora here is your ally, of course, makes sense, signature ally. 3 thwart for 2, attack for 2, not too bad, takes 1 damage. 3 hit points, again, not too bad. After you play Gamora, choose a technique upgrade you control and resolve its special ability. So that's nice, you can just play it and not have to remove. Of course, since we're going to be playing them together, we won't be able to bring her out. That'll just count as a wild. Nebula's ship is a 2. Exhaust Nebula's ship, you get to generate a wild resource. Here's one of her upgrades, so it is one of her techniques, Cutthroat Ambition. While Nebula is in hero form, her attacks gain piercing and overkill, so both of those are real nice. You don't have to worry about the somebody having a toughness status, and of course you have overkill, so if you take out, say, a minion, that extra damage is going to go ahead and go through to the boss. And then Special Thwart, remove 3 effect. So you have 2 of those. Here's another one, Upgrade Technique, Evasive Maneuvers Technique. While in hero form, Nebula ignores the guard keyword the patrol keyword, and the crisis icon. Special, choose either to stun or to confuse an enemy. So here's another one again. So she's gonna lose all these techniques. It really seems like you want to get all these techniques going, flip her over, and just do one big hit with them. Because some of these, it's like, yeah, she gets to avoid all this stuff, and it's kind of like you might not even want to play them unless that condition comes in the field. Because if it's not in the field, that's a waste of a card. You're just going to end up discarding that upgrade. Another upgrade technique, right? That's her deck. Unyielding persistence. So while in hero form, Nebula gets 1 thwart and 1 attack and gains forward. Special, give Nebula a tough status card. So basically, you resolve this, you give her the tough status, you discard this card. So that's what those specials at the bottom are going to do. Weapons Master. So she gains Retaliate 1, but the special, she deals an attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy. Wide Stance, again, technique. Nebula is in hero form, reduce the amount of damage that she would take by 1. That's good, kind of extra defense. And then if, again, you use the special, right? You look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, discard 1, put the others back in order. So you can basically stack the deck to help you in your next round. So this isn't easy, it's a 0, it's an event. When you're in alter ego action, so you can either shuffle 2 technique upgrades from your discard back in your deck. Okay, so that's how you're going to get all those cards back, because you're going to be discarding them every single turn. That allows you to get them back into your deck. Or you can discard the cards from the top of your deck until you find a technique, and then put that upgrade into play, and you resolve its special ability. So you get to resolve it, and you don't have to discard it. But you do need to be in alter ego form. So she seems like, kind of like Ant-Man and Wasp, where you're kind of flipping between forms. It really seems like she's going to be a very flip back and forth type character, depending whether or not you want to lose your upgrades on the next turn, or stall it out a little bit longer. Lethal Intent is X. So X is the number of upgrades you control. You get to resolve each one of their special attributes in the order of your choice. So basically, you choose 3 of your upgrades. The cost is going to be 3, and then you can basically get to use their special effects. So again, it seems like another one of those. You build her up, you build her up, you build her up, and then you go out there swinging to do all the damage at once. So those are all her cards, which means those are all the techniques and upgrades she has. Very small. It does seem a little bit different compared to other decks. I'd say probably the most comparable I could give would be Black Widow, because she's very similar. You're putting a lot of things out on the field to use them later during the game. So her first ally is Eros. He is unique. Now it's fun when you see the unique on these, because it's like he's unique in the deck, but it's like, could they make him a hero or a villain or something else later? But 2-in-1. He is a guardian. After you play Eros from your hand, confuse a minion for each science resource you use to play him. So basically, you have minions out in play, you play him. He's not strong. I mean, you're really using him, I think, to get that confusion out there. Right. You have Wraith, which is 3/3. 1, not so good. Attack is better, but he does take 2 damage. Or she, up to he or she. Zekdel. When a boost card is turned face up, exhaust Wraith and deal 1 damage to him. Okay, there we go, him. It explained it for us. This is him. And then cancel that card's boost effect, so that's nice. You basically use him as a blocker to prevent that. We do have Venom as Flash Thompson, so of course he is unique because there is a Venom deck, so if you played Nebula and Venom, you'd want to take this out of your deck and replace it with another ally. Or just, if you keep it in, if you're just playing the standard deck, you don't want to do deck building, he does count as a lightning resource or electric resource, or I don't know what the resources are, but he counts as that one. So it's 2/2. He does take 2 damage. He does have 4 hit points. That's not a lot. 2/3, I'm sorry, it is 3. He does take 2 damage each time, which means you're only going to get 2 attacks out with him. While there's no threat on the main scheme, reduce all consequential damage Venom takes by 1. So as long as you keep the threat down, then this actually goes down by 1. So that's actually kind of nice, because Justice is all about removing threat. Next is an upgrade, Justice Serve. They, of course, captured Gamora here. Play under any player's control, maximum player. Your response after you thwart and remove the last threat from a scheme card, Justice Serve allows you to ready your hero. So again, that ties into that Venom real nice, keeping the threat down and then being able to ready your character, being able to have Venom take 1 less damage, get him out there to do more damage, more turns. So this is a freebie, one way or another, max 1. Search the encounter deck for a side scheme, reveal that side scheme, and draw 3 cards. Shuffle the encounter deck. Trying to search the deck for a side scheme. Reveal that. Okay, so reveal means put it into play. You already put. It didn't quite say put it into play, but yeah. So basically, this is a draw free for free as long as you're willing to take another side scheme. Now, the nice thing is, for example, Venom and does not require the side scheme not to have threat. It was just the main scheme. And then this one here, it just says from any scheme. So that actually helps you to bring out some side schemes, because then you can do this justice served more often. All right, so determination. So max 1 response. After you spin this card, remove the threat from the main scheme. So basically you get to spin this card. So it is used as a wild, so you're spending this as a resource. You get to remove the threat. So rather than this actually being something you play, it's just an energy. It just counts as an energy and a threat removal. That's really nice. Power of Justice, of course, is your double Justice card. Brains over Brawn. Brains over Brawn. After your hero makes a basic thwart, deal damage to the enemy equal to your hero's thwart, so that's not too bad. You get to do some damage. Really nice in a Justice deck, because like I said, the Justice deck is all about trying to get the thwart off. You don't always have a lot of time to be able to do any type of attacks. Upgrade gives you additional thwart. Makes sense. It's a Justice deck. Cosmo is a basic ally. So Cosmo is only 1/1. He's not too great. 2/2. Again, not so great. Interrupt when Cosmo attacks or thwarts. Name a card type, then discard the top card. If that card is the name of that type, Cosmo does not take consequential damage. The damage under thwart or attack. Yeah. We know what consequential damage is. Okay. I mean, I get it. It is thematic, because he's a psychic dog and all that stuff. But that's really hit and miss. I don't know if he's worth bringing out. I mean, I guess you have nothing else to play and you got 2 energy to bring him out. Nowhere is a support location. Play only if you are a guardian. Increase your ally limit by 1. So that's actually kind of nice. You can get an additional ally out. After a player plays a guardian ally, exhausts nowhere, that player draws a card. You get to play guardian allies and basically get more cards in your hand. Daughters of Thanos, and there are 2 of these in here. One is in her deck, and then there's one in here to put into Gamora's deck. We usually play the plain starter decks, but I think we're going to go ahead and put that in because it makes sense for both Gamora and Nebula's decks to have those by default. But it's a team up once. Basically, the hero action is you get to draw 3 cards. So basically, as long as we're both in play, which with me and Oddity will both be in play, then we're going to get to draw 3 cards. So that's definitely worth putting into Gamora's deck. First aid, you get to heal 2 damage. So that's good. And then your wild energy, or not wild energy, your double energies. Alright, so obligation, inferiority complex. Now, of course, she believes she is inferior to her sister because her sister keeps one-upping her. That's where she gets all the upgrades and stuff from, whether you watch the movies or watch the comics. She keeps trying to make herself better. So you may flip to alter ego form. Choose to exhaust your alter ego. If you do, this gets removed from the game. Or you can choose and discard 2 technique upgrades you control. No upgrade is discarded this way. This gains surge, and then you discard this obligation. So it looks like either way you get rid of the obligation. Well, no, this is removed from the game. This is going to go back in. If you have to shuffle the deck, this is going back in. So, it's really your choice. Now, if you've got, for example, the ability to ready yourself, right, then that exhaust isn't going to hurt you. So if you've got your card out or in your hand, that's how you're going to make your choice. Do I want to play the obligation and get exhausted, lose a turn, or do I want to just lose 2? Maybe I've got 2 techniques that aren't helping me. Gamora, of course, is her minion, or a minion. She is her nemesis, so 2/2, 6 hit points, so quite a bit. She does have a forced response. After Gamora attacks and damages you, choose and discard an upgrade. So you do lose upgrades while she is out. When this minion enters play, discard the Gamora ally from play. So basically, if you're playing with Gamora and you have her ally out, the ally goes away. But of course, we would not have that happen. We actually would not be able to bring this into play. So we're going to end up getting Surge if that happens during our gameplay. So side scheme, this does still go no matter what. Self-preservation, Nebula gets -1 thwart, -1 attack, -1 defense. Gamora gets +1 attack, and her attack scheme is piercing. So this is This is going to be fun. So if this were to come out, which it would, right? If you get the Nemesis, right? You're actually making Gamora stronger. If Gamora is going to be your attacker and you're just doing your thwarting and preventive damage there, and they get piercing, this could actually be worth just leaving out there, right? It doesn't hurt, but does it hurt as much as it helps? I guess that would really, you have to be in your game state to know what you'd want to do in that situation. Lethal Weapon attachment. So Lethal Weapon, great movie. You guys should go watch that as well. But Lethal Weapon is an attachment. You attach it to Gamora. This means you can even attach it to the hero version. If you cannot, attach it to the villain. Discard and upgrade your control, and then discard this attachment. So basically you get +1 attack. So that's actually helpful to the hero version of Gamora. Old Rivals, here's the treachery. When revealed, Gamora attacks you. This is what I was talking about. No attack is made. This card gains Surge. If Gamora card or an ally is in play, she resolves her attack against you without exhausting. So this is basically saying if the hero is in play, she's going to attack you no matter what. Some people were confused whether she would or not, but like right here it says it's going to attack you and it doesn't exhaust. Saying, oh, we just did that, so I'm repeating myself. Alright, so that is the end of the pre-built decks. Of course, these are the additional cards. A lot of times they are geared towards this particular hero as well. So if you wanted to go to one of the other aspects, of course, you can also use these in any other deck that you want to build. So they're not necessarily required to be in this deck. So we can see there's aggression. You get an energy spear, cost of 1, attached to any guardian ally, max 1 per ally. Attached ally gets +2 attack and attacks gain piercing. So of course that'd be good in your I forget who was our aggression deck. Is it Star-Lord or Gamora? I can't remember. But you know, that would work. Guardians of the Galaxy is a 2. Again, it's going to go towards Guardians. Play any other player's control, max 1 team card per player. If each of your character has the Guardian trait, the card gains response. After you play an upgrade to an ally, you get to draw 1 card. So basically, if you're playing any of the Guardians, right, this is great in the leadership. I think now I think about it, I think Star-Lord was the leadership, so I'm thinking Gamora was aggression. So that would be great, because Star-Lord kind of operates similar to Captain America, right? He wants his allies. That's how the leadership decks work. Defensive training, right? Condition, max 2 per deck. Use 2 training counters. Exhaust this card and remove 1 training counter from it. Choose a protection green event in your discard pile, shuffle it back into your deck. So basically, it's a redraw of your event cards. Of course, here you can see all the Asgardians actually fighting against, it looks like the Nova Corps for some reason. So really, I don't remember that in the comics. I really got to figure out when that is, because that's Angela, Valkyrie. I'm not sure who those 2 guys are. I mean, I know who they are, but I don't know that. And this is the armor. I forget what the armor name is, but it's the armor. So there's 2 of those versus the 3 that is normal in here. And that's because they did say max 2 per deck on these. Whether that was the initial intent, like they believe it's too powerful to have 3 in there, or if it's because of this bonus card, who knows, but that's what it says, right? But here is a upgrade, so your basic honorary guardian title, play only if your identity as guardian, then you can attach it and they basically get 1 hit point and they become a guardian. And then the last card, of course, is the other daughters of Thanos. So there we go, guys. That is the Nebula deck. A little bit of info over it. Of course, I've not played the deck. I can't give you guys a full overview. If you guys want to see that gameplay, of course, we will be playing that here in the future in the Guardians Most Wanted campaign. Hit that like, subscribe, bell notification to know when we go live. So until next time, guys. Peace.